Blindsided, the channel to learn, implement, and succeed.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blindsided. This is Carla Rivas Parker, Vision Rehabilitation Specialist. And today I will be talking about how to customize Narrator. In order to do that, I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm doing at all times. And you will be able to hear it as well because I will have Narrator activated. So let's do it.
Select a window or an application that you want to share. Basic tab item. Sharing options list box. Share sound checkbox checked. Select sharing sound. Optimize for bit button. Share screen button. Alert, you have started screen share. Meeting controls window.
Okay, so we are on my computer now. Let me go to my desktop with Windows D.
D. Recycle bin.
And from here, in order to configure our narrator, we're gonna go to the settings for narrator. I have a shortcut to go there directly, and my shortcut is Windows, Control, and the letter N for narrator. So let's do it.
Settings window. Use narrator. Turn on narrator. Toggle switch on.
Okay, so you can get into these settings without narrator being on, and if it's off, you can turn it on here, but since it's on right now, you don't need to do anything here. So let's tab to the next option.
Link. Open narrator home.
Narrator home is the window that opens up when you turn narrator on, and this link will take you to that window. We don't need to do anything here. So let's move on. Tab.
Link. View the complete guide to narrator online.
This link will take you to the user manual, which I will encourage you when you are more comfortable with your computer, that you visit this link so you can learn more about how to navigate your computer. Tab.
Startup options. Allow the shortcut key to start narrator checkbox checked.
This is important to leave it checked because this is the option that allows your keyboard shortcut for narrator to work. If you turn this off, when you try to use your keyboard shortcut, it's not gonna work. So you don't need to do anything here. Let's just escape to the next one with tab.
Start narrator after sign in for me checkbox unchecked.
This option will allow narrator to automatically start after you signing in the computer. I will encourage, if you want to have full access to your computer, that you turn this on. And I'm gonna push my space bar in order to click the check mark here.
Space checked.
So you hear check, that means that option now is check, and my narrator will start after I sign in a computer.
Start narrator before sign in for everyone checkbox unchecked.
The next option is to start narrator for everybody at the sign-in screen. This is very important because you may be in a sign-in screen, and if you cannot see what's going on, you will not know when you can start signing in. So if you turn this option on, you will be able to access that information at the sign-in screen. So I encourage that we turn this on. So I'm gonna push my space bar here to turn it on.
Space checked.
And gonna move to the next option with tab.
Show narrator home when narrator starts checkbox unchecked.
Here you can check or uncheck this option, and this is for you to stop the Windows screen when narrator starts, and the reading that I showed you yesterday in my previous video, you can stop that here. So it's up to you. If you like to hear when narrator gets activated and hear the whole window, you will leave this on or not, If not, you will just turn it off. Okay.
Minimize narrator home to the system tray checkbox checked.
The minimize narrator to the system tray. This is important to leave it on. So when you execute the keyboard Alt with M to minimize the narrator window, it will activate it. If you turn this off, that shortcut may not work.
Personalize narrator's voice. Choose a voice. Combo box. Microsoft Mark. English. United States. Collapsed.
Okay, so here I can change narrator's voice. I can get female voice if I want. So let's check what is available by using our arrow keys, up and down arrow. I'm gonna go up.
Microsoft Raúl, Spanish, México, 4 of 8, selected.
Microsoft Sabina, Spanish, México, 3 of 8.
Microsoft Zira, English, United States, 2 of 8, selected.
Microsoft David, English, United States, 1 of 8, selected.
So that's my first option. So I have 8 options. So as you hear, it gives you the name of the voice, the language, and the country the voice is from. So we have basically Spanish and for English, and you just navigate and select. So I am on this one. I'm gonna leave that as my voice for right now, and I will continue navigating with tab.
Link, add more voices.
If you like, for example, English with British accent and that voice is not available here, you can add more voices by clicking on this link. We're not gonna do it here today. Moving on to the next choice.
Change voice speed, slider at 10.
Okay, here you can change the speed of the voice. I can go up arrow and it will increase the speed.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25.
Of course, I cannot understand anything there.
Change speed, slider 19.
So I'm gonna leave it down to where it was on level 10. Right now it's on level 20.
17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10.
And if you go all the way down to 1, it will be extremely slow. And I don't think you want that. So let's leave it there, this level 10, and moving on with tab.
Change voice pitch, slider at 5.
Here we can change the pitch. And this is important, especially if the person that's using narrator may have some sort of hearing impairment. They may hear better the higher pitch than the lower pitch. So this is a setting, again, using up and down arrow. You can navigate between the different pitches. I'm gonna go up.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Okay.
Change voice volume, slider at 100. Change voice pitch, slider at 20.
Okay, so that's the pitch. So that's something you can try and see which one works best for you. I'm gonna put it back at 10 because that's kind of the standard pitch.
9, 8, 17, 6, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10.
Okay, moving on with tab.
Change voice volume, slider at 100.
So right now it is at 100, is the loudest it can get, but if it's too loud for you, here you can go with down arrow to lower the volume.
90, 90, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 92, 9, 90, 8, 80, 8, 80, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 73.
So it goes one by one when you do the down arrow key. So let's go up to 100 where it was, so I don't decrease the quality of this audio.
100.
Okay, I did it fast, so you got there. Okay, next, moving on, tab.
Lower the volume of other apps when narrator is speaking. Checkbox checked.
This is very important because sometimes we're listening to YouTube videos like this one. And if you want to pause the video because you want to take notes or you want to write a link or somebody came and talked to you and you don't want to miss anything on your video, if you are using Narrator, sometimes the volume on those medias are louder than Narrator. So it is important to keep this check. So Narrator will always be louder than any other sound that you have in your computer. That way you have full control of your computer at all times. Moving on with tab.
Select where you hear narrator's voice. Combo box, default audio device, collapsed.
Sometimes we use external speakers or headsets. Here's where we're gonna select where we wanna hear narrator. Do we want narrator on the speaker or do we want narrator on the computer speaker or do we want narrator in a headset? So up and down arrow, move.
Speakers/headphones, Realtek audio, 2 of 2. Default audio device, 1 of 2,
Okay.
selected.
Next with tab.
Change what you hear when reading and interacting. Change the level of detail narrator provides about text and controls. Combo box, 2. Some control details, collapsed.
Okay, here you can hear a lot of details when you're navigating and reading. And sometimes it may be important for us to hear details. Sometimes it can be very annoying. So you have level 1 through 5, where 1 is text only, 2 gives you a little bit of more detail, but 5, it will give you a lot of detail to the point that it tells you the font size of the word you're reading, the color of the letter, the background color of the word. And by you hearing that in every single word at the end, you don't really pay attention to what you're reading. So it's up to you. You can play with the settings and see what works best for you. For me, option 2 works just fine. Moving on to the next choice, tab.
Change how capitalized text is read. Combo box, don't announce, collapsed.
Here you can select if you want to hear which words are capitalized.
Increase pitch, 2 of 3, selected.
You can do it by increase when the word is capitalized. Narrator will increase the pitch.
Cap say cap, 3 of 3,
Or
selected.
narrator will say caps and the word. It can be annoying if you have a title and it's always telling you caps and the word, caps and the next word, caps and the next word. So again, it's up to you. You can try the different settings and see what you like best. In my case, I like
Increase pitch, don't announce, 1 of 3, selected.
Moving on with tab.
Have narrator's voice emphasize formatted text checkbox unchecked.
The formatted voice, I think this is important because as format changes, you can hear in the change of the voice, you can detect some changes. So I'm gonna check this mark for me.
Space, checked.
Because I feel it's important. Then you can try it and see if you like that.
Hear phonetics as you read by character checkbox checked.
This is if you wanna hear phonetics when you spell something. For me, this is important because sometimes I don't hear the difference between the B and the V or the M and the N. Sometimes it sounds very similar. So if I have these phonetics, it may say N November or M as in Mike, things like that, that you can associate the letters. So for me, this is important. Again, is your choice. Moving on to the next.
Have narrator use punctuation to determine pauses when reading checkbox checked.
This is important to have it on. That way narrator will pause appropriately when it finds commas or periods and that kind of stuff. Moving on to the next one.
Here advanced detail, like help text, on buttons and other controls checkbox unchecked.
Here you can get a lot of details on some of your options. As a beginner, I will say probably you want to turn this on so you can get more details of what you need to do. But as you learn more, you can make the decision to turn it off. In my case, I just turn it off, but that's a choice for you. Moving on with tab.
Change the level of context narrator provides for buttons and other controls, combo box, 2, immediate context, collapsed.
Okay, here is also how you can control how much information Narrator provides you with some of the controls. You have from 1 to 5, and I have it at level 2 as well. Moving on with tab.
Adjust when narrator provides details about buttons and other controls, combo box, before controls, collapsed.
Here you have the opportunity to decide if you want the details to be provided before or after the control. Basically that. You want to hear the control and then what it does, or you want to hear what it does and then what the control is. Is your choice.
Here hints on how to interact with buttons and other controls checkbox checked.
Here you get hints of kind of tips in how to interact with some buttons. I think this is important because sometimes you may not know, okay, how do I open a combo box? So what do I do to check mark an option? Here will give you more detail, like you push a space bar to activate the check mark, something like that. So you can check this until you know what to do, then you can turn this off.
Here narrator announce why an action can't be performed checkbox checked.
I have this one checked because I always want to know why something couldn't be done. So if I can get that detail, why not? That helps me to understand why things happen in my computer. Moving on to the next option.
Here only sounds for common actions checkbox unchecked.
Here only sounds for common actions. I mean, here is basically just giving you some sort of audible feedback, but in sounds, not with words. I don't feel, for me, this is important, so I don't have it checked on. It is up to you. Moving to the next option.
Have narrator be more efficient in Outlook, experimental, checkbox checked.
I really don't know what this one is about. It's an experimental phase. I still have it checked because it was checked by default. And if that will improve my accessibility to my Outlook and emails, well, welcome it is. So I just leave it on there. Moving on to the next one with tab.
Change what you hear when typing, hear letters, numbers, and punctuation as you type checkbox checked.
This one is important because as you learn more your keyboard and you get more comfortable with your keyboard, you can have it, this option turn on. So when you push a letter or you're typing letter by letter, it will tell you with keys you're pushing in terms of letters, numbers, and punctuation. Next.
Hear words as you type checkbox checked.
Here you can hear words as you type. So sometimes people like to hear both. They like to hear each letter, and then when you push the space bar, people like to hear the word. So you can turn this on if that's kind of you. Otherwise, if you're one of those people that type really fast, that you didn't even let narrator talk each letter, then just having the read the word activated is all what you need. It's your choice.
Hear function keys as you type checkbox unchecked.
Here function keys, it's really, again, a choice for you. If you're familiar with what the function keys are and you know what you're pushing, you don't need this. But if you are a beginner and you want to make sure you are pushing the correct function key, you can turn this on for your own benefit. And once you're very familiar with those, you can turn it off.
Here arrow, tab, and other navigation keys as you type checkbox unchecked.
Same concept applied to this one. If you want to make sure you're pushing the correct arrow keys and all of that, turn this on so you can hear exactly what keys you're pushing.
Here when toggle keys like caps lock and number lock are turned on or off, checkbox checked.
Here you can turn this on so you can hear a sound when these keys are activated.
Here Shift, Alt, and other modifier keys as you type checkbox unchecked.
Here you also can check mark this option, and here when you push these specific keys, the Shift, the Tab, that kind of stuff.
Choose keyboard settings, select keyboard layout, combo box, standard, collapsed.
Here is the keyboard layout. Typically, your laptops, your computer keyboard is considered what's the standard keyboard. So you don't have to do anything here, just leave it the way it is.
Link, learn about the different Narrator keyboard layouts.
If you want to learn more about the different Narrator layouts, this is a link to go and learn more about it. Okay, when you get more interested in learning that kind of stuff.
Select Narrator key, combo box, caps lock or insert, collapsed.
Okay, here's where you can determine what you want to use for your Narrator key. In my case, I have both caps lock and insert, but if you go up arrow,
Insert, 2 of 3,
have,
selected.
you can have only insert, or you can have
Caps lock, 1 of 3, selected.
caps lock only. So I'm going to put it back with caps lock and insert for me. That way I can use them as needed.
Insert, caps lock or insert, 3 of 3, selected.
Next.
Lock the Narrator key so I don't have to press it for each command, checkbox unchecked.
This option, it's related to exploring your screen and reading. So we're going to check on this one later in a later video.
On touch keyboards, activate keys when I lift my finger, checkbox checked.
If you have a touch screen and you want to activate items as you lift your fingers, this will be the choice to check so you can have that done when you use your touch screen.
Link, create your own keyboard commands.
This link will take you to a place where you can create your own keyboard shortcuts. When you are an advanced user, I will say this will be a place that you can go and create your own shortcuts.
Use Narrator cursor, show the Narrator cursor, checkbox checked.
Showing the Narrator cursor is important because sometimes we may need assistance from a sighted person to see what's going on our computer. And so having this on will allow them to see where our cursor is. If we don't have this on, Narrator can be reading something, but the person that's assisting us will not know where is our cursor or where is Narrator reading the information from. So keeping this on is important.
Move my cursor with the Narrator cursor as Narrator reads text, checkbox checked.
This one is also important to leave it checked because as you move through documents or through websites, your cursor will follow Narrator and the person that may be assisting you will find it easier to assist you if needed.
Sync the Narrator cursor and system focus, checkbox checked.
Again, here is the Narrator and the system focus. So this is important to leave it checked.
Read and interact with the screen using the mouse, checkbox unchecked.
If you are one of those people that's still using the mouse and you want to have Narrator follow the mouse, you will check mark this one. If you don't use the mouse, then don't worry about it. You don't need to do anything here.
Select the Narrator cursor navigation mode, combo box, normal, collapsed.
So here are different navigation modes. Right now with the basic mode is what they call the normal mode. So I'm gonna leave it like here. Your other choice will be
Advanced mode on.
The advanced mode, and we are not at that level, so I'm gonna leave it just normal.
Normal mode on. Use Braille, link, BRLTTY.
Okay, the next couple of choices are related to Braille displays. If you have a Braille display connected to your computer, you will have to kind of activate your Braille display through these choices.
Link, new LGPLV 2.1.
Here's a link that will take you to this type of Braille display.
Link, LibLewis.
Here's another link for another different type of Braille display.
Link, new LGPLV 2.1.
Here is another different type.
Download and install Braille, button.
And here is a link that will allow you to download and install a specific Braille display.
Manage your data and services, use current settings before sign in, button.
If you wanna keep all these settings to run at all times on your profile, you just leave this option as is. You don't need to do anything here.
Get image descriptions, page titles, and popular links, toggle switch, on.
This is important if you're navigating like the internet and you encounter an image that was not appropriately labeled. This option on can give you details of a picture. So leaving it on is to your benefit.
Help make Narrator better, toggle switch, on.
Here is if you want to provide feedback about Narrator, this option is on. It's up to you. If you don't want to provide feedback, you can uncheck the option.
Link, privacy statement.
And here's your privacy statement. You know, it's your choice. Click the link and you can go check on your privacy statement.
Link, get help.
Get help. If you need help with anything with Narrator, here it will be the link that will take you to where you can find information how to obtain help.
Link, give feedback.
And here is the link that you're gonna go if you want to provide feedback to Microsoft.
Home, button.
Home will take you back to the home screen.
Search box, find a setting, edit.
And pretty much that was the last choice. Here basically
Vision, display.
We're going back.
Use
to
Narrator, turn on Narrator,
our first
toggle
option.
switch.
This is the first option on Narrator. So that's basically all the choices that you have available to customize Narrator. I hope you learned a lot today. Remember, this information is provided for you to learn, implement, and succeed. That is all for today. If you like this video, don't forget to click like. And if you haven't subscribed and you like this type of information, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to click on the bell so you're notified when new videos are available. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next episode.